Hey guys, Ollie here, and today we're concluding Rare Month, our month-long celebration of all things Rareware. Be sure to subscribe and check out all the reviews. Now this is the big daddy of them all. This is Rare Replay for the Xbox One. Rare Replay is a massive collection of 30 of the venerable developers' greatest and not so great games. Everything from Jetpac to nuts and bolts is on offer in this legacy cocktail. But just how much of this happy hour special is worth your hard-earned dollar? Let's take a look. When you start installing Rare Replay, you'll immediately notice that things are just a little bit disjointed. Whether you buy this disc at retail or go for the download, you'll be doing no less than 10 installs. This is because Rare Replay includes emulated versions of all of the studio's Xbox 360 games via the Xbox One's new backwards compatibility feature. Meanwhile, the other 21 releases play natively-ish. Okay, so everything appears to be emulated, but this has its benefits. Play any of Rare's pre-N64 titles, and you'll have handy rewind and save state features to make Battletoads beatable by mortal hands. The N64 titles are a bit of a mixed bag performance-wise, but we'll get into that later.
Oh, diddle-da-damn!
In short, aside from the awkward launching of 360 titles, Rare Replay is pretty well thought out and thoughtfully brings all of Rare's titles to bear on Xbox One. Where to even begin? Rare Replay, as previously stated, combines 30 of Rare's classic titles. That means there's everything from Battletoads to Banjo, and more levels than you can shake a stick at. Starting with Jetpac and the early Spectrum titles, I suspect most modern audiences will fail to see a lot of the appeal of playing these PC classics on their Xbox. Indeed, I too had trouble getting very far in any of Saveman's adventures. That is, until I visited the Snapshots Gallery. Here you'll find challenges for all of Rare's pre-N64 titles, and they're a blast to go through. The challenges range from time trials to score-based objectives, and serve to give the player an idea of what these early titles were all about. In addition, these earn you stamps, which unlock all sorts of bonus content from the usual making-of variety to tantalizing unreleased footage of Cameo 2. Moving on to the NES titles, games like Battletoads with its pick-up-and-play appeal, as well as a surprisingly enjoyable Cobra Triangle, were some of my personal favorites. Because, come on, who doesn't love cartoon violence and fighting a dragon with an arsenal-equipped speedboat? In terms of N64 titles, it's no surprise that they're all pretty much gems. I've talked at length about my love of the Banjo-Kazooie games, and you can check out those reviews here. The simple fact that you get that entire main series here is worth the $30 alone. No, seriously, each of them go for $15 on Xbox Live Arcade. That's not even counting the vehicle-centric but also excellent nuts and bolts. But enough about my affinity for mumbling birds and bears. The other N64 titles are also excellent. Perfect Dark is still loads of fun, and the 60 frames per second of the Xbox 360 version is the way it was always meant to be played. Meanwhile, the joyous destruction of Blast Corps and the frantic action of Jet Force Gemini will provide hours of entertainment. Though, despite a recent patch, the latter is simply always going to be a bit awkward to play on dual analog. Conker's Bad Fur Day, meanwhile, remains in a class of its own, but it's unfortunate Rare didn't also include the gorgeous-looking, albeit censored original Xbox version. About the only meh release from this selection is Killer Instinct Gold, as we already have two better Xbox One versions of the two original games. Moving on to the more modern titles, aside from Grabbed by the Ghoulies, which is still flawed but now plays in 1080p and 60 frames per second, they're all 360 emulations. You've got a pair of 360 launch titles, Perfect Dark Zero and Cameo, the former of which still doesn't compare to the original title, while Cameo is still an underrated title that everyone should really play. Then you've got two excellent Viva Pinata titles that remain relaxing and surprisingly challenging. Beyond that, there's Jetpac Refueled, which nicely complements the original, and Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. This is a staggering amount of content, to be sure, and it provides an excellent value, but with the good, there's also bad. Unfortunately, the bad consists of often poor performance in a few of the 360 titles, as well as some wonkiness in Conker's Bad Fur Day. Nuts and Bolts in particular often performs abysmally and worse than on the 360, to the point where it's pretty shocking that they would actually let it ship in this condition. Showdown Town is where it dips the worst, often in the low 20s and high teens. while certainly not unplayable as the performance is much better in the game worlds, this hopefully will see a patch in the future, as it's a title that absolutely deserves your attention. Regardless, there's an incredible amount of gameplay and indeed replay value in this package that makes it well worth your investment. From a visual standpoint, Rare Replay runs the gamut from 8-bit to modern marvels. All of this is presented via a lovingly crafted theater aesthetic that makes every game feel that much more special. Many of these games are some of my favorites of all time, and to see them all lined up like this puts a big old grin on my face. For a new gamer who isn't such a Rareware connoisseur, the menus of Replay do a good job of letting players know what these games are all about. The music in Rare Replay is also excellent, from a great opening number to new themes in each of the game's launchers, all composed by Robert Beanland and all excellent. In short, all the games are lovingly and faithfully represented. Many are still as much a joy to look at today as they were 15 or even 30 years ago in the case of Jetpac. Throw in lots of behind-the-scenes documentaries and there's really only one word to describe Rare Replay, and that's stellar. Rare Replay is quite simply one of the best values in all of video games. It's a wondrous feast of gameplay that serves not only as just an awesome package, but also a great slice of gaming history. That said, performance issues prevent Rare Replay from being the perfect package. While it never approaches being unplayable, it hurts the collection as a whole and robs it of a perfect score. Regardless, Rare Replay is a fantastic package that new and old gamers alike can enjoy. Rare Replay gets a 4 out of 5.